What up? It's your boy T-Run Reaction. Today is Films Friday. I was going to walk in, but I was like, I got a little time now. I got to do one more, and that is continuing with the Weird History movies in the 80s as well, too. We're going to take a look at the times of 1986 of films of movie talent in 1986 as well, too. And, you know, after the resurgence of movies happened in 85, 86 continuing on as well too, with some top hits as well too, including Aliens, Crocodile, Dundee, Top Gun, and many others as well too. The Brad Pitt franchise was still continuing as well. So without further ado, let's check out the timelines of 1986 movies. Let's get in.
Critters, the battle begins in another galaxy.
I think you should all go and see it.
It was great. Bounty hunters, total psychoticness. The critters like to party too.
Critters now playing at a theater near you.
If you're into the movies from the 80s, then you likely have fond memories of 1986, unless you are a fan of Optimus Prime, in which case you're probably still coping with the trauma. But that unexpectedly dark twist notwithstanding, it was the year Rodney Dangerfield headed back to school with Robert Downey Jr.
Good teacher. He really seems to care. About what, I have no idea.
The game was afoot for a great mouse detective.
Smile, everyone.
And John Carpenter teamed up with Kurt Russell to stir up some big trouble in Little China. We're taking you through all of the best movie-related news and events of the 1980s. This is Timeline Movies. Watch out for nuclear vessels, because this one is about 1986. But before we get started, be sure to subscribe to the Weird History channel and tell us your favorite movie memories from 1986 in the comments below. Now, are you ready to find out what was going on in the movies the year the first Legend of Zelda game came out?
I was born ready.
January 30th saw the release of the sports drama Youngblood. The film stars Rob Lowe as a farmhand pursuing his dream of playing in the National Hockey League. But the real reason to see it is because it includes the feature film debut of Keanu Reeves.
That man is an animal.
He plays Heaver, which is a relatively small part, but the man who would be Ted, Neo, and John Wick still manages to leave an impression. Originally a division of Lucasfilm known as the Graphics Group, Pixar became an independent company on February 3rd. The move was made thanks to a $5 million investment by Apple Computer co-founder Steve Jobs, who became the new company's biggest shareholder.
Ed told me about his dream, which was to make the first computer-animated feature film someday, and showed me what this team was working on. I was blown away. This was way beyond
Didn't miss Pixar intro.
Anything I'd seen. And so I bought into that dream, both spiritually and financially.
Since then, Pixar, which is now owned by Disney, has produced 29 digitally animated features, including the world's first fully computer-animated film, Toy Story. On February 3rd, during his yearly State of the Union address, U.S. President Ronald Reagan rattled off a quote from the #1 movie of 1985, Back to the Future.
Who's President of the United States in 1985?
Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan, the actor?
During the speech, Reagan said,
"Never has there been a more exciting time to be alive. A time of rousing wonder and heroic achievement. As they said in the film, Back to the Future, where we're going, we don't need roads."
Ladies and gentlemen, the late Yul Brynner.
And on February 18th, Americans received a message from beyond the grave when actor Yul Brynner, famous for his roles in films like The King and I and The Magnificent Seven, appeared in an anti-smoking commercial released 4 months after his death from lung cancer. In the spot, Brynner, who smoked 5 packs a day, said,
"Now that I'm gone, I tell you, don't smoke. Whatever you do, just don't smoke."
Released February 28th,
Right back
the teen romantic dramedy Pretty in Pink stars Molly Ringwald, Andrew McCarthy, and John Cryer.
Blaine? His name is Blaine? That's a major appliance. That's not a name.
Written by the legendary John Hughes, the film follows a working-class teen girl torn between the wealthy boy she has a crush on and her best friend, who carries a torch for her.
The only thing I'd heard from Otis Redding was Dock of the Bay. So I had to acquaint myself with him really fast and learn all those, and oohs and ahs and love is something, and that was very difficult.
A well-reviewed box office hit, Pretty in Pink would come to be regarded as one of Gen X's most iconic teen movies.
There can be only one.
And on March 7th, Highlander debuted in U.S. theaters. The film, which stars Christopher Lambert and Sean Connery, tells the tale of Connor MacLeod, an immortal warrior competing for a mysterious prize.
Never overextend your thrust and off balance.
Connor.
Heather, please.
A poorly received box office flop, Highlander became a cult favorite on video, launching a multimedia franchise that continues to this day. Rebooting a film that preaches there can only be one is a bit odd, but in 2008, Summit Entertainment announced they were remaking the original film. John Wick director Chad Stahelski signed up to helm that remake in 2016. And on May 21st, 2021, Deadline reported that former Superman Henry Cavill had signed on to play the lead.
The training is about to begin in earnest. It'll be a very long training process. Things are happening, and we are very excited.
Production is set to start in 2026, with an eye toward a 2027 release.
Get all the envelopes right in there? What do you say we open those suckers up right now? Read them all out right now, and bang, we can go to the party.
March 24th brought the 58th Academy Awards, team hosted by Alan Alda, Jane Fonda, and Robin Williams. Winners included Best Supporting Actor Don Amici for Cocoon, Best Supporting Actress Angelica Houston for Prizzi's Honor.
Oh, wow. This means a lot to me, since it comes from a role in which I was directed by my father.
Best Actor William Hurt for Kiss of the Spider-Woman, and Best Actress Geraldine Page for The Trip to Bountiful. But the big winner was
Out of Africa,
which earned Best Director for Sidney Pollack, as well as Best Picture.
Yeah.
Is it over?
And thinking about that though, also what was cool. Wow, that's a moment of the Academy Award. It was a suck moment for the movie Color Purple. We got a lot of nominations. I don't think not even maybe possibly one win, but most of the but not any of the important wins as well too. And a lot of people was little taken back that out of Africa that didn't star barely any black folks got the win over that though. So yeah, it was a big thing with that award that year. That I heard it for sure. It was crazy.
Who won? The Chicago Bears.
A legendary figure about to encounter a world more treacherous than any he has ever known.
This your first trip to New York?
First trip anywhere.
On April 24th, Crocodile Dundee opened in Australia. The fish-out-of-water romantic comedy stars Paul Hogan as an Australian bushman, brought to New York City by a reporter.
I'm always all right when I'm with you, Dundee.
The film, which taught us all what a knife really is,
Isn't that nice? That's a knife.
opened to rave reviews and became a sleeper hit, finishing up as the second highest-grossing film of the year.
Number 5 is Alive.
And that life started when Short Circuit, starring Steve Guttenberg and Ali Sheedy, opened on May 9th. The sci-fi comedy follows a military robot who gains sentience after being struck by lightning. Despite a lukewarm reception by critics and the fact that the studio cast Guttenberg in the lead against director John Badham's wishes,
people may get nervous being around this big mechanical thing. Steve was very nervous the first day he was around it. There was no time at all. They're telling each other jokes. They're having fun.
the robot Johnny Five endeared himself to audiences.
Well, when you gotta go, don't squeeze the charm.
And the film became a box office success, earning it a sequel in 1988.
Los locos kick your face. Los locos kick your balls into outer space.
And on May 16th,
we go.
the greatest military recruitment vehicle this side of World War II debuted in the form of the Tom Cruise movie Top Gun.
I feel the need
for speed.
Directed by Tony Scott, the film follows a maverick Navy pilot called Maverick as he struggles to succeed at the titular military training facility while squeezing in a few games of shirtless volleyball.
I always suspected Tom Cruise might have cooked my volleyball close-ups. If you notice, I don't have any.
I knew why the scene was in the movie because I had to show off all the guys, but I didn't have a vision about what I was doing other than just soft porn.
Despite mixed reviews, Top Gun would finish as the highest-grossing film of 1986 and receive a sequel in 2022.
You can be my wingman anytime.
Yep, space, yes. A young Joaquin Phoenix.
You know what that means? It's because you were one of the few people who saw Space Camp.
Nobody cares about Space Camp more than I do. And you've been on my case since day one.
Released on June 6th, the film, which starred a Joaquin Phoenix so young he was still calling himself Leaf,
Yo, Jinx. Yo. Ah. All right.
follows a group of kids who go to a summer program called Space Camp, only to be launched into orbit for real. Released less than 5 months after the Challenger shuttle disaster, the movie was a marketing disaster and bombed at the box office.
Bueller.
Here we go.
Bueller.
And on June 11th, John Hughes continued his winning streak with the release of Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
The film, which stars Matthew Broderick, follows a deviously clever high school student as he skips school and attempts to teach his best friends not to let petty authority figures sap all the joy from life. Beloved by critics, audiences, and Ferrari fans, it would finish as the 10th highest grossing film of the year.
You're still here? It's over.
That's what Deadpool got that part.
Jim Henson's Labyrinth was released on June 27th. It tells the tale of Sarah, a teenage girl who must travel through the titular maze to rescue her baby brother from the clutches of David Bowie's Goblin King.
We wanted to use Michael's right arm to be David's arm. We set it up with a stand-in for David, so he could rehearse and rehearse and rehearse and try to get this move. And he had to be leaning down so that he wouldn't be in the camera shot. He's now working totally blind.
The final feature, directed by Henson, it was replete with Muppet-like creatures and catchy songs, written and performed by Bowie himself. Nonetheless, it ultimately underperformed at the box office. On July 18th, Sigourney Weaver's...
Unless it's talked about, you wouldn't think that, but like I said, a lot of stuff that bombed became cult classics.
Ellen Ripley returned to theaters in Aliens. Directed by James Cameron, the sci-fi/horror/adventure sequel finds its hero heading back to LV-426 on a mission to destroy the alien species she barely survived in the first film.
You're one brave kid, Rebecca.
Who?
Newt. I like that. There is this little child who's the only other person who's had the same experience she has and survived. When I find her, I have a new life, a new breath.
The movie would cement Ripley's status as one of the greatest action heroes of all time and is now widely regarded as one of the best films of the 1980s. The first Marvel hero to reach the big screen was Captain America in a 1944 serial, but the second was Howard the Duck, released August the 1st. The movie, which sees Howard dragged to Earth where he squares off with the evil Dark Overlord, was originally intended to be animated, but contractual obligations forced producer George Lucas to make it live action.
Howard really controls this picture. We don't really have much to do with it. We just do his bidding. He's got a lot of power, a lot of charisma.
One of the biggest bombs in cinema history.
Howard.
It's notable for being the first movie to include digitally erased wire work, which is now a staple of special effects. A Better Tomorrow, which was released August 2nd, is the story of an ex-gangster trying to mend his relationship with his policeman brother. Widely considered one of the best Chinese films ever made, it's most notable for featuring the breakout performance of Chow Yun-fat and cementing John Woo's reputation as
Is this the movie they remade into a game later on? Hold on a second. Did they remake this into like a game? Stranglehold. Ain't that what? Yeah, ain't that the one? Is that the one that made out of a game? Hold on a second. No, Harbor. Okay, it's not that it's Harbor, but still John Woo. Actually, it's still John Woo and it's Chow Yun-fat. Wow.
Director, the winner of the 1987 Hong Kong Film Award for Best Film, its highly stylized action sequences helped establish the heroic bloodshed genre and became massively influential to both Hong Kong and Hollywood movies.
Now, light our darkest hour.
The Transformers. The movie debuted on August 8th and pit the titular robots in disguise against a living planet called Unicron, but it's mostly remembered for its surprisingly dark storyline, which featured the death of the iconic Autobot leader, Optimus Prime.
I'm getting whacked on page 17. They're not coming back.
Kids were crying in the theaters. We were hearing about people leaving the movie. Indeed, we had some kid that locked himself in his bedroom for 2 weeks.
Despite including the legendary Orson Welles in what would be his final role,
nobody
body summons Megatron. Then it pleases me to be the first.
The movie bombed at the box office. Nonetheless, its featured song, The Touch by Stan Bush, was so well regarded that it was belted out by Mark Wahlberg in 1997's Boogie Nights.
Okay.
You got the touch. You got the power.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Fly, starring Jeff
Oh,
Goldblum
yeah.
and Gina Davis, flew
Crazy
into
ass
theaters.
I'm afraid.
Don't be afraid.
No, be afraid. Be very afraid.
A remake of the 1958 Vincent Price vehicle of the same name, the film tells the story of Seth Brundle, a scientist struggling to hold on to his humanity after accidentally combining his DNA with that of a fly in a teleportation experiment.
What happened?
I know an old lady who swallowed a fly. Perhaps she'll die.
Embraced by critics and audiences, the film would win an Academy Award for Best Makeup and solidify Goldblum's reputation as an A-list character actor. When you think Hannibal Lecter, you probably picture...
You talked about that, and that's why I said when I did the Trick or Treat, that's who I meant when I say Brian Cox was the original Hannibal Lecter. If you saw the Manhunting Dead Meat Kill Count, that's how I found out. But the first ever Hannibal Lecter movie that we most may not know about.
Sir Anthony Hopkins, but the first actor to play Hannibal the Cannibal was actually Succession's Brian Cox in Manhunter, released August 15th.
Then by implication, you think you're smarter than me since you caught me.
I know that I'm not smart.
Then how did you catch me?
You had disadvantages.
What disadvantages?
You're insane.
Directed by Michael Mann, this adaptation of Thomas Harris's Red Dragon only briefly features the iconic serial killer, and it flopped at the box office. Now regarded as a cult classic, it would be remade in 2002, with Hopkins playing Lecter in an expanded role. Based on a short story by Stephen King, the coming-of-age drama Stand By Me landed in theaters on August 22nd. Set in 1959, the film features Will Wheaton, River Phoenix, Corey Feldman, and Jerry O'Connell as a group of friends who set off on a long hike to see a dead body.
I see him. I see him.
That period was exactly what you see. It was 4 kids in the middle of nowhere growing up with each other and in front of you.
You know, we'd all go over to River's house.
We'd do all the handshakes.
Wow, look at them later on.
And we would say all the, slang.
Dad, all these voices, damn, did all of them have went through puberty in this little interview? Jesus Christ, they look nothing like what they look like on the movie. So I guess it was like was filmed in '84 or something. The way they looking, this is a 6th interview, and they're hit a whole puberty jump. Oh shit!
Was exactly what you see. It was 4 kids in the middle of nowhere.
I knew Feldman was going through voice changing through the movie because his voice was a little bit lower here and there.
Growing up with each other and in front of you.
You know, we'd all go over to River's house.
We'd do all the handshakes.
Yeah, him and River.
And we would say all the, slang that they used back then in '59.
A box office success that earned an Academy Award nomination for Best Screenplay, the movie is now widely considered one of the greatest adaptations of King's work.
It was a deeply felt story for me because as a writer, it was a story that stepped outside the horror genre. And I felt that Rob Reiner responded to that and was made better by it and basically realized the story as a film, which doesn't happen very often.
Sadly, just 7 years later, after River Phoenix would meet a tragic end when he overdosed on drugs.
Hold on a second. I'm back. Let's keep going. R.I.P. River Phoenix.
Drugs and went into cardiac arrest outside of a Hollywood nightclub. Siblings Joaquin and Rain attempted to revive their brother and called 911, but doctors were unable to save him.
River Phoenix was not a flavor of the month. He was going to be an actor with longevity.
What happened to River is so sad. It's hard for me to look at the last part of the film.
Phoenix was just 23 years old. Released on November 14th, the sports drama Hoosiers tells the tale of a high school basketball team from Indiana that makes it all the way to the state championship. The movie stars Gene Hackman as an unconventional coach.
If you put your effort and concentration into playing to your potential, to be the best that you can be, I don't care what the scoreboard says at the end of the game, in my book, we're going to be winners.
And Dennis Hopper as his alcoholic assistant, a role for which he would receive an Academy Award nomination. Very loosely based on a true story, Hoosiers is now regarded as one of the best sports movies of all time.
Cary Grant died yesterday of a stroke at the age of 82 in Davenport, Iowa. President and Mrs. Reagan, calling him one of Hollywood's brightest stars, said they are very saddened by the death of their old friend.
On November 29th, after Cary Grant suffered a massive stroke while preparing for a performance in Davenport, Iowa, and later died at a hospital. One of the biggest stars in the history of film, he was known for his roles in classics like Bringing Up Baby, His Girl Friday, and The Philadelphia Story, as well as his many collaborations with Alfred Hitchcock.
Cary Grant never won an Academy Award, except for an honorary one in 1969. And even the most sophisticated viewers are sometimes fooled by the kind of artist who hides his art, makes what he does look easy.
At the time of his death, he was 82. Finally, the musical black comedy Little Shop of Horrors was released December 19th. Starring Rick Moranis, Ellen Greene, and Steve Martin, the film tells the tale of a meek flower shop employee who happens upon a strange plant that seems to have the power to grant wishes, as long as it's fed with human blood.
Feed me now!
Little Shop underperformed at the box office, but became a massive hit on home video, and is now considered a classic of its genre.
Indeed.
So what do you think? And what?
Yep. Good little tidbit of nice TA6 movie gear though, for sure, yo. Definitely. Can we see if we'll see for 87. Other than that though, some great movies down the line. If you like my reaction, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's your boy T signing off. One love.